by the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Coimbatore. Today's gathering is not merely a celebration of success, but a tribute to excellence, integrity, leadership, and service to the society. Through these awards, we honor distinguished individuals and organizations whose dedication and achievement have enriched the industry, profession, education, public life, and growth of our nation. This evening also carries a special significance, as these awards are presented in memory of the legendary industrialist and visionary leader, Shri Sundaram of Lakshmi, freedom fighter, institution builder, and one of the architects of modern Coimbatore industrial progress. As Mahakavi Bharati said, "Ulavukkum Todilukkum Vandrai Seivom." Let us salute agriculture and industry. These timeless words beautifully capture the spirit of today's function, honoring those who have contributed through the hard work, enterprise, innovation, and selfless service. Shri G.K. Sundaram firmly believed that industry is not merely about a business, but about the nation building, creating opportunities, and serving society with responsibility and vision. The Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Coimbatore, through these awards, continues to uphold and celebrate those very ideals. We are deeply honored by the presence of our distinguished chief guests, respected dignitaries, eminent industrialists, members of the legal and academic fraternity, awardees, invited guests, members of the media, and all our representatives who joined us this evening. On behalf of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Coimbatore, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin this memorable evening of honor and celebration. I request our beloved President to have a formal welcome address. Also, I request every one of you, please either switch off your mobile phone or keep your phone in silence. Thank you for your cooperation.
Respected Chief Guest, Shri S. Krishnan, IAS Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Distinguished past presidents and office bearers of our chamber, our esteemed awardees and their family members, Shri V. Balchan, founder Mahaveers, Shri Kasturi Rangayan, founder Rangamal Steel and Malleables, Shri L.P. Nagasubramaniam, senior advocate, members of the chamber, guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good evening to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this very special and memorable evening for our chamber. This evening is not merely an awards function. It is a celebration of excellence, entrepreneurship, service, values and leadership. Values that have shaped Coimbatore into one of India's most vibrant centers of enterprise and innovation. We have gathered here to honor the enduring legacy of our distinguished past president, the late Shri G.K. Sundaram, the visionary chairman of the Lakshmi Mills Group, who led this chamber with extraordinary commitment for nearly 24 years, and whose leadership left a lasting impact on trade, industry, and institutional development in our region. To speak in greater detail about Shri G.K. Sundaram and the awards instituted in this honor, our past president and senior statesman, Shri A.V. Varadaraj, who was closely associated with Shri G.K. Sundaram for several decades, will share his thoughts later. Today we proudly celebrate individuals whose achievements are not measured merely by business success, but by the values they represent: integrity, perseverance, institution building, and contribution to society. Friends, this year's function is particularly special for another reason. Our chamber, founded in 1929 by Shri R.K. Shanmugam Chetty, the first finance minister of independent India, is proudly marching towards its centenary year. For nearly a century, this institution has stood as a voice of enterprise, progress, and constructive engagement in our region. As we move towards this historic milestone, we felt it appropriate to renew not only our vision but also our institution. It gives me great happiness to share that we have renovated this chamber building not merely as a physical space, but as a symbol of renewal, continuity, and our commitment to future generations. This chamber has been shaped over 9 decades by extraordinary industrialists, visionaries and leaders who believe that institutions matter and that regions prosper when businesses and communities grow together. Today, with around 1,400 members and 86 member associations across sectors including textiles, engineering, pumps, automobiles, jewelry, garments, healthcare, education, IT and services, our chamber continues to play a meaningful role in the economic progress of our region. But our role has never been confined to this industry alone. Our chamber has consistently represented not only the concerns of trade and industry, but also issues affecting the common citizen and society at large. We believe economic progress and public good must move together. At this important moment, I would like to place on record our heartfelt gratitude to the respected D.D. Naidu family for their invaluable support and encouragement to the chamber over decades through their generous support extended to us. Their contribution remains deeply appreciated and remembered. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply honored by the gracious presence of our chief guest this evening, Shri S. Krishnan, IAS Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Sir has taken time out of an exceptionally demanding national responsibility to be with us today, traveling from Delhi to inaugurate our renovated chamber building and confer these prestigious awards. On behalf of every member of this chamber, I offer you our heartfelt gratitude and warmest welcome. Sir, if I may add on a personal note, I had the privilege of interacting with Shri S. Krishnan during his earlier tenure as Tamil Nadu's Housing Secretary. What always stood out to me was his clarity of thought, accessibility, deep understanding of governance, and remarkable ability to combine efficiency with empathy. In public life, we often admire competence, but what leaves a lasting impression is competence accompanied by humility. And sir, that's a quality of many of us deeply admire you. We are indeed privileged to have you amongst us this evening, and in fact it's the second visit to the chamber in the last 4 years. Friends, this evening also belongs to our distinguished awardees. Shri B. Balchan, founder of Mavis, started his career selling socks. Today he has built not merely a successful retail brand, but a trusted institution that has become part of the cherished family milestones across generations, while preserving India's rich textile tradition with quality and integrity. Sri Kasturi Rangayan, a college professor in CIT earlier, founded Rangamal Street and Maliville through technology, engineering excellence, sustainability and global competitiveness, has made Coimbatore proud in the automobile manufacturing ecosystem and stands out as an example of industrial resilience and long-term vision. And our senior advocate, Shri N.V. Nagasubramanian, through extraordinary legal career spanning decades, has exemplified excellence in law while contributing significantly to education, institutions, heritage and public life, reminding us that true leadership extends beyond profession into service. To all our awardees, your journeys inspire us, your success stories reinforce the values that made Coimbatore what it is: hard work, credibility, humility, innovation and contribution. On behalf of the Chamber, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to each of you and warmly welcome your family members, friends and well-wishers who are here to celebrate this proud moment. As our Chamber marches towards its centenary, evenings like this remind us that institutions endure because people of excellence continue to inspire them. With these words, I once again extend my warm welcome to our respected chief guests, distinguished awardees, members, guests and all of you gathered here this evening. Thank you very much.
Now I request from our President to honor and present a memento to our chief guest. I request all the office bearers to join for a group photo.
கொஞ்சம் பேக் வந்து சார்
Thank you, President. Now it is our turn to invite Shri A.V. Varadarajan, our past president, to brief about the GKS award.
ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ತೇನೆ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ
Chamber of Commerce, Honorable Chief Guest of the day, Shri Krishnan IAS, distinguished guests sitting in front of me, successful awardees, I would like to thank every one of you, and I would like to try to tell whatever I know about GKS. This award was constituted on his 60th birthday, on completion of his 60th birthday, by his friends and well-wishers. The purpose is to honor every year, honor distinguished industries, one distinguished trader, one gentleman from service. So the chamber has got 3 types of members: industry members, trade members, and service sector. So, as far as GKS services to the chamber is concerned, it is very difficult to explain. I start to explain, our chief guest may not be able to catch clear slide. So, he was a tall leader of Coimbatore. He belongs to a family, one family which was instrumental for the growth of the city, of the Coimbatore region, Conferment region, along with few other dignitaries like G.D. Naidu, Sundaram, Sundaram, and many others. I may not be able to tell the names, all the names. And they were all instrumental for creating spirit of entrepreneurship in the city. I will tell you, sir, this city now stands almost about contributing 12th rank in contributing GDP of this nation. The city is it's also growing very fast, but our infrastructure and other support is not at all meeting our growth. This is the biggest problem we are facing now. We are afraid of the problem we are going to face within another 2 years. Our GKS, as a man, is an embodiment of what is that? Ethics, business ethics. It's unbelievable to the extent how sincere he was following his policies. And he is very bold in nature, fearless. He will not bother with anybody to tell the problem. Some of the incidents, I may not be able to tell everything. His passion for others is enormous. He is more worried about society than the government or than his own family or industry. He is worried about the society. I tell you one example. When we used to, he is also a sportsman, sports supporter, he is a bridge player. I had the fortune of playing with him for a long time. I played in his team for 50 years. So I know very well what he was thinking and all. On the evening at Kutralam Bridge camp, he asked me one question. Many of our workers are retiring. That is about 20 years back, I am telling you. And how they are what is the position today? Is there any study made? Anybody can got written any article about that and all? He asked me. I told him, I don't know, sir. I don't have any idea about it. My factory is a small factory, only 1 or 2 people, like that I was telling today. Then we discussed. After coming here, with the help of a few college students, he conducted a survey of the retired workers within the past 20 or 30 years, how they are placed. Whether நாம் கொடுத்த கிராஜுவேட்டிங் பிஎஃப் இந்த காம்பன்சேஷனும் பிஎஃப் ஃபண்டும் அவங்களுக்கு இருக்கா, whether they are able to relish enjoy that benefit or they are left without anything by their kith and kin. That was a study made. Only 25% of the people out of 120 or so, that study revealed only 20%, 25% of the people are having comfortable life. Others are all in very, very bad situation. At least the last 25% is very, very, very bad situation. That's what we found that study and we discussed about that. So that is the way. In one occasion, there was a big strike going on at United Places. MeitY. They are the one, as Century was the one in that factory at the time. Strike is prolonged long time, and they were agitating very strongly, very, very forceful way, deliberate and forceful atmosphere was there. They were all camping in the Achievement campus and sitting there for days together. That day, he wanted to go there. So he took the car and start driving to that place. Everybody, including his elder brother, told, don't go there. It is not safe to you. Please be here. But driver also went and pleaded him. Then he asked the driver to sit in the back seat. He went there. They were all agitating and sitting. As soon as he get out of the car, அவங்க எல்லாம் எந்திரிச்சுட்டாங்க. அத்தனை ஃபோர்ஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கவங்க, அத்தனை விகிமெண்ட்டாக இருந்தவங்க எல்லாம் எந்திரிச்சுன்னு சொன்னால, என்னப்பா தண்ணிக்கு கூட ஒன்று வழியில் போட்டிருக்கேன், ஒரு ட்ரம்மு கொண்டு போய் தண்ணி வைக்க சொல்லுவாங்க. Then returned. Next day strike was over. So that is the way. So I know very many incidents. I don't want to tell everything. How fearlessly he faced the situation. In one of the meetings in chamber, one member complained, "Sir, whenever I stop my car in front of my jewelry shop, cloth shop, and the policeman is asking me to remove the car, what do the chamber has to take some action?" And he asked, why he is obstructing you from parking the car? வேற கெஸ்ட் பொதுமக்கள் வந்தால் நிறுத்த கிளம்பணும், கடைக்காரக்காரன் நிறுத்தி நம்ம கேட்கணும். அவர் கேட்டார், உனக்கு கஸ்டமர் வேணும், கார் வேணுமான்னு கேட்டார். கஸ்டமர் நம்ம கார் எடுத்துட்டு போய் இந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷனுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி அவர் பேசுறது ரொம்ப போல்டு, ரொம்ப ஏதாவது என்ன ஒரு அந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷனை ஃபேஸ் பண்ணுறவங்க நான் இது வரைக்கும் நான் பார்த்தது எல்லாம் கண்டதுமெல்லாம் இமேஜின் பண்ண போது அவ்வளோ போல்டுன்னா நாட் ஒன்லி மென்டலி, ஃபிசிக்கலி ஆல்சோ வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங். Cannot imagine. He's like a Bailawan. When he takes baths in Kutrala baths, they do very forceful season also. People will try to help him. Drivers and somebody will go around him. He will push everybody. He will go inside. He will stand there for more than half an hour. Very heavy blows. Then he pulled me. Twice he pulled me inside. And I went. I was very much afraid. Within few minutes it was all right. That blow was very comfortable. Continuous massaging of water. So he enjoyed playing bridge. On the last day, before his death, on the length of the day evening, from 5:30 to 7:30 he was playing bridge in nearby bridge club. I don't know many of you know about bridge. In bridge game, the topmost is like slam, grand slam. That is taking all the 70. Then little slam taking stick picks. Little slam itself is like a century, hitting century in cricket. May not tell you about the grandness of the grand slam. He lost to play on that day. He made a small slam. Small slam. He took all the 12 tricks. He was so happy. And he stepped. Next moment, the game was over. We all went out. After 2 hours on that day, he got chest pain and he was admitted in the hospital. He passed away. So he was so happy on the last day before his death. He enjoys any achievement in any tournament or in any big play. His passion for this, I cannot mention. I'm not so aware. We had been to Alappi, this tournament, 2 days tournament. In the morning, ஒரு 10 நிமிஷம் லேட் ஆயிடுச்சாங்க ஸ்க்ரீன் ஜன்னல் ஸ்க்ரீன் போய் அப்படியே பார்த்துட்டே இருந்தார். என்னென்ன பார்க்குறாருன்னு சொல்லி பார்த்தேன். இந்த பார்த்துட்டு என்னங்க பார்க்குறீங்கன்னு இந்த பாருங்க கிளாத் என்ன கிளாத் இது எனக்கு எப்படி தெரியும். ஒரு கேட்டார் அவங்க இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாம் யாருக்கும் தெரியல. சரி விட்டாங்க. மறுபடியும் மத்தியானம் போய் அதில் பார்த்தேன். நான் என்ன பண்ணேன்னா ஈவினிங் ஆஃப்டர் டின்னர் ஐ டோல்ட் ஆர்கனைசர்ஸ் இந்த கிளாக் எப்போ வாங்குங்க நீங்கள் கேட்டேன். ஒரு 3 மாதத்துக்கு முன்னாடி தான் போட்டேன். இதில் ஒரு கட் பீஸ் எனக்கு வேணும். 6 மீட்டராக கொடுங்க. நான் பார்த்து ஒரு கொடுக்கணும் ஆகிட்டேன். நான் வந்து இது கொடுத்தேன். அவ்வளோ சந்தோஷம். முதல் நாளே சித்ராவை எழுப்பி அதெல்லாம் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி எல்லாம் பார்த்தேன். என்ன செட் அப்படின்னு தெரியாது. So curious about the industry. He was instrumental in developing long stable pattern. Munalla table was very short in this region. Cotton growing in this region. Number pura ஒரு நிமிஷம் கரிகேட் பற்றி கம்பெனி ஸ்விம்மிங் அவர்தான் டெவலப் பண்ணார். இந்த மாதிரி அவருடைய சேவைக்கு நிகழ்ச்சியில் சொல்கிறதுக்கு ஒருத்தர் இருக்கும். அவருடைய பெயரும் புகழும் ரொம்ப காலம் கோவை வரை அவருடைய புகழ் இன்னும் நிலைத்திருக்கும் என்று வேண்டிக்கொண்டு அவருடைய ஆசைகளும் அவருடைய செய்த புண்ணியமும் நமக்கெல்லாம் கிடைக்க வேண்டும் என்று வேண்டிக் கொண்டு விடைபெறுகிறேன்.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us start this award function and introducing the category-wise awardees.
பட்டனில் ஆடையும் பஞ்சனில் உடையும் பண்ணி மலைகளென குவிப்போம் என்பது பாரதியின் வார்த்தை. It's my proud privilege to introduce today's awardee in the trade category. Magavis, a name that has become synonymous with elegance, tradition, quality and trust in the world of silk sarees. Founded in 1971 by visionary entrepreneur Shri B. Balchan Bothra in Gandhipuram, Coimbatore. Magavis began as a modest saree showroom and has today evolved into one of the South India's most respected textile destinations. For more than 5 decades, Magavis have been celebrated for its carefully curated collections, exceptional craftsmanship, and commitment to preserving India's rich textile heritage. From the timeless weaves of Banaras and Bengal to the classic elegance of Kanjivaram and Chanderi, Maravis brought together the finest tradition of Indian handloom artistry under one roof. With innovation, customer trust, and quality as its foundation, the organization expanded from retail into design and manufacturing through its signature handcrafted silk saree lines, creating a strong identity in bridal and ceremonial collection. In recognition of its outstanding contribution to trade, textile excellence, and customer service, the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Coimbatore proudly honors Maravis with the prestigious award in the trade category. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly applauding and welcome the team of Maravis to the dais.
I request
Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Coimbatore, G.K. Sundaram Award, instituted by the Chamber, trade category. It goes to Mrs. Mahaveers. You have been awarded in recognition of your exceptional contribution to preserving the timeless heritage of Indian sarees through masterful craftsmanship, innovation and elegance. Like the perfect harmony of warp and weft, Mahaveers continues to be tradition, trust and contemporary vision into a legacy cherished across generations. Rajesh Velun, President ICCA Coimbatore, 29th May 2026.
சார் இங்கே பார்த்துக்கலாம்.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I request Mr. Balchand to give his acceptance address.
President Rajesh Lund, chief guests, dignitaries on and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a good evening to you all. I am deeply honored to stand before you today to accept this award. On behalf of the entire team at Mahavis, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to the past presidents, the members of the Chamber of Commerce for this valuable recognition. I also extend my hearty congratulations to the co-awardees. For us, this isn't just about selling textiles. It is about celebrating culture, craftsmanship, and the trust our community places in us every day. When we started this journey, our goal was to redefine the shopping experience by blending traditional values with contemporary fashion. Winning this award proves that our dedication to quality, value and customer satisfaction has not gone unnoticed. I want to dedicate this milestone to our wonderful customers, locally and from the neighboring cities and pan-India. Your loyalty and feedback are the driving force behind everything we do, pushing us to constantly curate the best styles and elevate our service. We also want to share this recognition. I also want to share this recognition with my brothers and family for their support, and also share this with our hard-working team on the floor in our designing units and behind the scenes. This award is a testament to their tireless efforts, creativity and commitment to making every customer feel special the moment they walk through our doors. As we look to the future, we remain committed to setting new benchmarks in the retail industry and continuing to dress our community with pride and elegance. Thank you once again to the Chamber for this honor. I would like to close my note by placing on record my eternal gratitude to the Almighty for His blessings and grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Balchanji and your entire team and your family members for accepting our award gracefully. Thank you so much. Your Mahavir is not only the silk people, you are also like a silk person. இரும்பை காய்ச்சி உருக்கிடுவீரே, அங்கிரங்கள் வகுத்திடுவீரே, கரும்பை சாறு விழுந்திடுவீரே, அரும்பு வேர்வை உதித்து புவிமேல் 1000 தொழில் செய்திடுவீரே, உலக தொழிலனைத்தும் உகந்து செய்வோம். சேம்பருடைய வார்த்தை. ஆயுதம் செய்வோம், நல்ல காகிதம் செய்வோம், இரும்பு ஆணிகள் செய்வோம், உயர் விமானம் பறப்போம், ஞாலம் நடுங்க வரும் கப்பல் செய்வோம். சாதாரண கப்பல் இல்ல, ஞாலம் நடுங்க ஒரு கப்பல் செய்வோம். கோயம்புத்தூருடைய ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி. The industry award, it is my proud privilege to introduce today's distinguished award, Rangammal Steels and Malleables, popularly known as RSM. A name synonymous with the quality, reliability and excellence in the automatic manufacturing industry. Founded in 1984 by its visionary founder, Shri Kasturi Rangaya, RSM has grown into a highly respected manufacturer of automotive components for medium and heavy commercial vehicles. Over the decades, the company has earned the trust of leading original equipment manufacturers across the globe through its commitment to engineering excellence, precision manufacturing and dependable service. The heavy-duty truck and trailer components manufactured by RSM enjoy a strong worldwide market presence, making the company a trusted global supplier in the automotive sector. With a deep expertise in the product designs and development, RSM continuously delivers high-quality products that meet stringent international standards and customer expectations. Quality, technology, and operational efficiency have always been the cornerstones of the company's growth. Its comprehensive quality system, competitive approach, and timely delivery have earned the confidence of large and satisfied customer base in both OEM and after segments. For more than 5 decades, RSM and its leadership have actively contributed to various trade and industry bodies, playing an important role in growth and development of the industries and sectors they serve. In recognition of outstanding contribution to industry, manufacturing excellence, and sustainable development, the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Coimbatore is proud to honor Rangammal Steels and Malleables with this prestigious award. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly applauding and welcoming the team of Rangammal Steels and
The Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Coimbatore G.K. Sundaram Award confers industry category to Mrs. Rangammal Steels and Malleables. You have been awarded in recognition of your outstanding contribution to the industrial and automotive manufacturing sector through over 5 decades of engineering excellence, precision manufacturing, and unwavering commitment to quality and innovation. With visionary leadership in sustainable practices and pioneering adoption of green energy, RSM continues to set enduring benchmarks in world-class manufacturing and industrial excellence. Signed by President Rajesh B. Lung, 29th May 2026.
Thank you, sir. May I request Mr. Ilango to have your acceptance speech.
Chief guest of this function, Shri Krishnan IAS, President Rajesh Lung and office bearers of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, past presidents of the Chamber, Shri T. Sundaram, Shri A. Vadrajan, Shri Nandakumar, Mrs. Vanita Mohan, Shri R. Sundaram, Shri Balasubramaniam, presidents and office bearers of other associations, my dear family, friends, associates and guests. I deem it an honor and privilege to receive this prestigious G.K. Sundaram Award in the industry category. I, on behalf of our companies, its employees and family, thank the Chamber for this special honor and recognition. The Chamber, being one of the oldest trade and industry bodies in the country, has done a great job for almost a century in bringing together trade and industry in Coimbatore together. It is indeed a privilege to receive the recognition from such a chamber. The present President Rajesh Moon and his team have continued to do the good work during the last 2 years. I congratulate them for the same. We are also thrilled to receive it along with other illustrious recipients, Messrs. Mahavir and Mr. Shri MeitY, whom I wholeheartedly congratulate. Our founder, Shri Krishnan, who moved to Coimbatore in 1949 and graduated as a mechanical engineer from the first batch of PG College of Technology, always wanted to be an entrepreneur. While teaching engineering at the Conferment of Technology, he decided to start his own venture, and in 1962 he did so with 3 other partners. Since then, he's been a trailblazer of sorts in the industrial landscape of Coimbatore with various initiatives. He was one of the first to manufacture auto components in Coimbatore, market these components in his own brand, distribute the products through an all-India network from 1974. First to start a foundry with a medium induction furnace in 1983, use machining borings and for melting, which was considered a waste at that time. One of the first small-scale foundries to buy a spectrometer in 1996. One of the earliest entrepreneurs to invest in wind energy generation for capital consumption in 1994. Since then, the group has been using 90% of its energy requirements from its own capital wind and solar generators. One of the first to avail income tax benefits under Section 80 IA, participating in the world's largest aftermarket fair in the world, Automechanica, with our own stall. These steps reflected in the performance of our companies, which have 3 factories and cater to the OEMs and aftermarket in the country and outside. We as a group have grown immensely due to his vision and the foundation ably managed by our executive director who handles most of our operations, Shri K. Rajikant. We have a 3rd generation joining us with Mr. Harsha joining us a few years ago. Other members of family have actively supported in the growth of our business. We also owe much of our growth to the ecosystem of Coimbatore, which I would call the cradle of entrepreneurship. The ecosystem supported our growth, though sometimes the ecosystem is pretty difficult, and as we see that the challenges are going to be much more in the years to come. In turn, we have also contributed to this ecosystem by participating in the activities of leadership of such organizations, be it Odisha, Institute of Indian Foundrymen, CII, TAI, Indian Wind Power Association, many others. Incidentally, when the Indian Wind Power Association was started 30 years ago under the chairmanship of Shri G.K. Sundaram, it was our founder, Shri Kasturangan, who was the founder secretary and who managed this association for the next 3 decades. So we draw our strength from these associations and give ours to others who need it. We thank each and everyone who played a part in our journey. I am sure that this will continue as we support each other and grow together in the decades to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rango, and for your entire team. Thank you so much.
Now, time to honor Shri MeitY for his services. எண்ணிய முடிதல் வேண்டும் நல்லதை எண்ண வேண்டும் என்றால் மகாகவி பாரதி. One must accomplish what one resolves and one must always think noble thoughts. It is my proud privilege to introduce today's awardee of service category, Shri N.V. Nagasubramaniam, a towering personality in legal fraternity and distinguished citizen of Coimbatore. Born on 7th September 1939, Shri N.V. Nagasubramaniam enrolled at bar in 1962 and has since built an illustrious legal career spanning more than 6 decades. a highly respected senior counselor, civil lawyer. He has appeared before the High Court of Madras and various courts across India, handling several landmark civil, criminal and arbitration matters with exceptional integrity, wisdom and professional excellence. His leadership within the legal community has been exemplary. He has served as president of both Coimbatore Advocates Associations and Coimbatore Bar Associations, and notably became the youngest person ever to hold the office of president of Coimbatore Bar Association. Beyond courtroom, Shri has rendered outstanding services to society through his active involvement in education, heritage preservation, spirituality and environmental initiatives. He has played an important role in institutions such as Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Shri Kwadanda Ramasamy Temple, Sirutuli and several educational trust institutions, contributing immensely to the social and cultural fabric of Coimbatore. His remarkable contributions has earned the prestigious honors including the Vocational Excellence Award and recognition as Icon of Coimbatore. He has always represents a proud, enduring legacy of legal excellence. Coming from a distinguished family of eminent lawyers, these traditions continue through his son, Shri and grandson, Siddharth Sridhar, who carry forward the family's rich heritage distinction. I think it is a fifth generation lawyer has come from that family. In recognition of his extraordinary professional accomplishments, exemplary public service and a lifelong contribution to the society, the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Coimbatore has selected Shri for the Best Service Category Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming.
We request Mr. Sridhar sir to join on stage, please.
Shri Nagasubramaniam, Senior Advocate. You have been awarded in tribute to 64 years of exemplary services in legal profession for your distinguished eminence as a senior advocate and your enduring contribution to the administration of justice, constitutional values and public service. Your lifelong dedication to the legal profession marked by exemplary advocacy, judicial excellence and unwavering commitment to the societal welfare with integrity and dignity, an inspiration to bar and bench alike. Rajesh Pilo, President, ICCI, Coimbatore, 29 May 2026.
Thank you, sir. May I request Shri NPN to give his acceptance speech.
To the Indian Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Rajesh Pilo, Secretary and other office bearers, Chief Guest Mr. Krishnan IAS, distinguished guests and captains of industry present here, a very good evening to all of you. I am very happy to see that quite a few of my friends have turned up. Good welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for sparing your time. I commence the speech with a mental invocation of my Kula Devam, Sri Angala Parameswari, and Ishta Devam Sri Rama. My wife and parents were no more with me. I must thank the Chamber of Commerce, Coimbatore chapter, for choosing me for an award under the service category and for choosing the other awardees, Mahaveers and RSM, Auto Caste, under the other venues of services. My congratulations to the other awardees. The award of this evening is constituted under the memory of Sri G.K. Sundaram. No words are adequate to describe the stalwart that G.K. was. He was a freedom fighter, known for high ethical values. He was the torchbearer of business and commerce in Coimbatore, held positions of service in several organizations with great dignity. He was instrumental for starting the Coimbatore Kendra of Bharati Vidya Bhavan. He provided direction, strength and leadership to the people of Coimbatore. Let us all remember the great man with gratitude this evening. I must congratulate the Chamber of Commerce for perpetuating his memory. I can add that I had the privilege of moving very closely with him. I also traveled extensively with him. I have completed 64 years in the legal profession. I am now dividing my time between professional activities and also activities aimed at service outside my chosen profession. If I am here before you receiving this award, it is because of many events that unfolded over the decades, which shaped me as an individual, as a professional, and now as someone involved in service in social, religious, and educational institutions. It is said that we cannot choose our parents. So is the case with the environment in which we grow up and study. It is a combination of so many factors that shape the person that we are today. It is difficult to pinpoint one or a few. I owe a lot to many of what I am today. My parents who shaped me and raised me, my teachers at suburban schools, my friends, my father, Mr. N.S. Venkat Subbaiah, who was also my guru, my mentor in the profession, my maternal uncle, Mr. K. Ramachandran, who was my role model, my professional colleagues who toughened me and challenged me so that I could reach certain milestones in my profession, leaders of society who made me think of serving in service organizations. Each and every person who came along this journey have impacted me positively. Whatever may be the opportunities and challenges that come our way, it is for us to assimilate them and learn from them. Opportunities raise our hopes and aspirations. But it is the challenges that we overcome along the way that strengthen our resolve. Persons who live to tell their tale are those who have consistently done something that is value-based. Rolling stones do not gather mass. I don't see this as an occasion to wax eloquent about myself or sermonize about the value systems. Each and every person present here is a leader of his or her chosen field of business. But I can say one thing, I have been always proud of my role as a trial lawyer. A trial lawyer practices at the district or official level and he safeguards the interests of clients at the grassroots level. I have prided myself to be a lawyer for various individual clients who formed the bedrock of my practice. Even today, the district courts and trial courts form the sheet anchor of the entire judicial firmament. But I am always a votary for strengthening the grassroots setup. Being a lawyer is not merely a vocation, it is a public trust. And each one of us has an obligation to give back something to our society, to our community. I will be satisfied if I have added some value to the profession and society. I am mindful and thankful of the fact that I have been selected for this award under the category of service. The word service is an all-pervasive term. Apart from serving my profession, I have always wanted to extend my service to areas outside my profession. I feel that every human being in this world is born to serve in one way or the other. We all play various roles during our lives. Some services are recognized and some are not. Some roles receive the spotlight, some do not. But every role, every service and every action of ours is designed by the universal power called God. We are all small cogs in the big wheel which we may call society or country or world or universe. At this juncture, it is important for me to remember various people involved in quiet service in our country, though they may go unnoticed. They deserve it as much as persons like me. I am grateful and thankful to God for the life that He has given me and whatever recognitions that have come by my way. I accept this honor, this award with humility. One word in relation to this exalted institution, Chamber of Commerce, Coimbatore chapter. As an advocate, I was part of an initiative to inaugurate the arbitration center during the presidency of Mr. Krishnan. And I'm glad to note that the initiative which was taken has taken now further shape and has rapidly gained ground now. The Chamber has been on a continuous quest to showcase Coimbatore's achievements and talents in the pan-India stage, and my congratulations to the successive teams of office bearers who have all devoted their valuable time for the Chamber. A few but important words about the Chief Guest, Mr. S. Krishnan, IAS. It is a matter of pride that the Chamber has invited a person of not lesser stature than that of the Secretary of Information Technology, Government of India, to be our Chief Guest. We are thankful to you, sir. On behalf of the awardees, I thank the Chief Guest for allocating time to be with us. I wish the Chamber all the very best in all its endeavors. Before I conclude, there are so many past presidents here, including Mrs. Sundaram. The point to be now, the Chamber of course is very busy. It may not come within the objects of the Chamber. But Coimbatore is going to is facing a lot of challenges. One such challenge is waste management and water resources, preserving the water resources. And we at Tirutuli, at the biggest of the leadership of Mrs. Vanitha Mohan and Mr. Shri are taking enormous steps. But for the steps taken already by Tirutuli, today we will be water starved. And whatever water that we are getting today is because of the efforts taken by them. And I only wish the Chamber also does something in this direction and take some positive steps. Of course, another problem that is that may not be definitely within the purview of the Chamber is about the extinction of certain category of the animals. For instance, elephants today are getting extinct. The whole of India, I'm told, what remains is only about 20,000 elephants. And every day we find the elephants are dying, electrocuted or run over by train, starvation, death, and things like that. And there are so many people silently doing so many things for all those neglected categories. And I wish those people who are not recognized all the best. And I only wish the Chamber someday or other will find some way, even though it is not directly within your purview, I'm quite sure it will take some steps in that direction also. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you very much. I request all the awardees to come on stage to have a group photo with the Chief Guest.
Yes, sir.
Now I request Dr. K. Annamalai, Vice President, to introduce our Chief Guest of the evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are on time. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished Chief Guest for this evening, Shri S. Krishnan, IAS Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, a distinguished officer of Indian Administrative Service with more than 35 years of exemplary public service. Shri S. Krishnan has held several key leadership positions in the government of Tamil Nadu. When he was in the Secretary of Government of Tamil Nadu, he visited our chamber, addressed us 2 years ago, and intermediary international institution bringing with him a vast administrative experience, visionary leadership, and deep policy expertise. Since September 2023, he has been serving as Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, popularly known as MeitY. Government of India, under his leadership, the ministry continues to play a pivotal role in driving India's digital transformation, promoting e-governance, electronics and semiconductor manufacturing, innovation, emerging technologies, digital services, and secure a cyberspace for all contributing towards the vision of technologically empowered and developed India. Prior to this, Shri S. Krishnan served as Additional Chief Secretary to the Government of Tamil Nadu in the Investment Promotion and Commerce Department, where he played a significant role in strengthening the industrial growth and investment promotion in the state. Over the years, he has also served with the distinction as an Additional Chief Secretary in the Finance Department, Principal Secretary in Housing and Urban Development, in planning, development, and special initiative departments. He was the founder CEO of the Tamil Nadu Infrastructure Development Board and also served as the chairman of the 5th Tamil Nadu State Finance Commission. His international experience includes serving a senior advisor in the office of the Executive Director at the International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C., representing India in important G20 expert groups on global financial system and international financial architecture. He also served in several important assignments in the Government of India, including as Private Secretary to the Union Finance Minister and the Deputy Director of the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. Known for his calm leadership, administrative excellence, and commitment to the public, Shri Krishnan has earned immense respect across the government and industry policy circles. Sir, I invite you to address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for a very, very generous introduction. President of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, Rajesh Lund, Secretary, Office Bearers, many eminent industrialists, entrepreneurs from Coimbatore today. In the course of that very generous introduction, I think I forgot what I think is probably today's most relevant experience and probably in some ways something which humbles me more than anything else that I can think of. The fact that I started my career in the civil service here in Coimbatore as assistant collector training in June of 1990, almost 36 years ago. I landed up here one fine morning taking the Blue Mountain Express, and in the good old days, and I'm sure it's still just called Blue as far as Coimbatore is concerned. And I remember that as well as anything else. And today, when I look back, and both the district collectors, when I was trained, both Mr. A.M. Raman and Mr. Kalaivanan are no more. And I think back to that time, but many of you I had met in those early days. You may not remember me from those days, but I do remember you from those days, and so much that I've learned. And today's lesson is really one of, when I look at the audience and when I look at what has happened and I look at the significance of the event today that we are presenting awards in honor of Shri G.K. Sundaram, and it really underlines the importance of perseverance, enterprise, and the pursuit of excellence. And I think that is what Coimbatore and Coimbatore's industry has truly represented over all these years, many decades, in fact more than a century now. I think that is, we're truly honoring that, and that is something which is extremely important and relevant. Mr. G.K. Sundaram was an absolute legend, very well known, not just here in the Coimbatore area, but across the state and even across the country. And there are many interesting quotes and many interesting things which are attributed to him. But more than anything else, the fact that at the policy level, as a member then of the Swatantra Party and a follower of Nani Palkiwala, he had interesting thoughts of what is now mainstream thought. Almost every other week in Delhi we have a meeting on deregulation and how it's important to get rid of a number of unnecessary laws and a number of unnecessary regulations which create trouble for pursuit of enterprise. And in a sense, those kinds of thoughts which Mr. Sundaram must have voiced more than 6 decades ago in the early 60s, completely out of tune at that time with the predominant thought, but clearly ahead of its time in terms of what we are thinking of today, is something which is quite remarkable and I think significant. So I think that is something which, in my view, is a fitting honor to be recognized today. and fitting honor to think of how people were truly, great people were truly ahead of their times in the way they thought about these things. And today, as I reflect on the awards which have been given, and the way it is structured in terms of one intended for trade, one for manufacturing, and one for services, clearly, understanding the interplay of these three and figuring out a way that all of this is essential to take the economy forward, drive business forward, is something which again is very visionary and thoughtful, and something which will truly sort of come together in a context where I look at my own present responsibilities in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Today, when we talk about electronics and information technology, we actually have two parts which mingle there. There's the manufacturing part of electronics and semiconductors and all of that, and the services part of the IT and IT-enabled services that we talk about so much in the economy. All of that is interestingly coming together today as a digital economy for India and for the world. And the digital economy is something which we often don't think of as an overarching framework. And last year, with that in view, the ministry, we commissioned the Indian Council for International Economic Relations, ICRIER, to do a study for us as to what is the size of the digital economy and what is the kind of impact it's having on the rest of the economy. There are many ways in which value addition in the digital economy can be arrived at. There are multiple methodologies which are followed by different agencies, ADB, OECD, and so on. So ICRIER created a framework looking at all of this and adding a few more elements which are becoming increasingly important. And they found that the digital economy had grown from about 6% in about 2012-13 of India's economy to almost 13% by 2023-24. And they expect that it will grow to almost 20% by 2030, which is almost 1/5 of India's economy. $1 trillion by 2030 is what present trends will take the digital economy to, and it's growing twice as fast as the rest of the economy. So in that sense, that is where both services and manufacturing interplay so much. There are times when we wonder whether one operates at the cost of another, or the other operates at the cost of one. So, but truly, the fact that both of them have to go together, today we call it embedded software or we call it firmware, which becomes part of hardware in itself. And so, to me, the way these awards have been structured brings that memory in, and on top, and add a layer to it, services, whether it's legal services or any other kind of services being rendered through this, become a very important element of the way it is grown. And where the digital economy further contributes is in the way that business itself is done, is in the way that transactions themselves are done, the digitization of transactions, the speed with which that moves. I was recently very pleasantly surprised to come across a specific statistic, which is that 98% of all payments in this country today are done digitally in terms of total value. I think all of you will stop writing checks. So that's what it implies, that people are just transacting digitally. No one writes checks anymore. And forget about cash. And cash is in any case much smaller, but even in the large transactions. All of this actually underline and re-emphasize the importance and the direction in which we're moving. And as we think, and today's topic of today's discussions anywhere in the world, and I'm surprised that in the last 1 hour it's not come up, nobody talked about artificial intelligence. So, and everyone's talking AI across the world, but when you talk artificial intelligence and AI, that is also becoming a game where both manufacturing and all of this comes together. It's becoming a stack. Everything is coming together. At the bottommost level, you need energy. That is the first level or layer. We need enough power to power our data centers and what needs to happen there. At the next level, you need models. You need, at the third level, you need the chips, which is all about manufacturing. You have to actually make them. Models in their own way are a service which needs to be delivered. They form part of the service sector of the economy. On top of that, you need applications. Applications are critical in terms of, they are really the trade part of it. That's where the rubber hits the road. That's how you actually deliver various services. And to enable all this, you also need a lot of data. So all of this is coming together in terms of multiple layers of how we can actually move forward as an economy and how this is an opportunity. And artificial intelligence in that sense represents possibly technologically the one major change that we've seen in after decades, a horizontal technology which will impact every sector, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is agriculture, whether it is healthcare, whether it is education. Each of these sectors is definitely to be impacted by artificial intelligence and the way we adapt this to what needs to happen. And it's, I think, in my view, Coimbatore being such a vibrant entrepreneurial center for the country itself, not just for Tamil Nadu, is a place, is a region which should really take a lead in the way that we adapt to this digital scenario that we see, and in every aspect of it drive forward. So whether you look at the manufacturing part, I think we've seen excellence in textiles, we've seen excellence in various other mechanical parts, whether you're talking about pumps, whether you're talking about a range of other devices that have been manufactured here over the years. Now I think the time has come to actually step into, and auto components and various other things that have been manufactured. Your excellence in manufacture is what will take you in the direction of manufacturing for electronics. We should not forget that today electronics is the single largest manufacturing sector globally. And 60% of electronics are made in one country, and that's not India. So we need to be aware. Our own share of global electronics manufacture was about 2% about 4 or 5 years ago. We are currently a little under 4%. Almost double. It's big, it's sharp growth, but considerably greater growth is required. In 2025, the largest single exported item from the country was mobile phones. Apple's mobile phones were the largest single exported commodity from the country. Today, the largest factories that you find anywhere in India are factories that manufacture mobile phones, whether it is Samsung's huge unit outside Noida, or whether it is Foxconn's unit near Shri or the newer unit which is coming up near Tumkur. They are the largest single manufactured items in the country, largest factories. Clearly, this is a space that Coimbatore has to step into. We need established industries, we need people who have manufacturing excellence to do this. And it is happening. I am aware it is happening. We have schemes and projects in which companies in Coimbatore are establishing manufacturing facilities, and I think it's an important way forward of what's happening. Likewise, something which is strategically important for the country, semiconductors. We've tended to import semiconductors. We've attempted this again and again. There's this famous quote which is attributed to Mahatma Gandhi when he was in the UK, saying he stood up once and he said, "I conceive," and then he stopped out of sheer nervousness those days, and I said, "I conceive" again, and then the third time, And then he couldn't speak and he sat down out of sheer nervousness. So a British journalist reporting on it the next day apparently wrote, Mr. Gandhi conceived thrice but failed to deliver. So, but having said that, I think the important thing here is that in the case of semiconductors, we've had many false starts in this country, starting from the 60s. Finally, we've got where we want to. Under the India Semiconductor Mission, we've had 12 projects which have been approved, and it's a matter of pride that the first 2 of them have commenced production. First one was inaugurated by the Prime Minister on 28th of February, Micron's facility in Sanand, Gujarat, and the next one also in Sanand, Gujarat by Keynes, who set up the second of them, and we'll have about 2, possibly 3 more during the course of this year, and many more to come. And we have the second phase of the India Semiconductor Mission also coming up. So these are areas and these are spaces which represent a huge opportunity. I'm aware there's a fair amount of interest in India, and I'm aware that, and a fair amount of interest in the Coimbatore area to explore an opportunity to manufacture both semiconductor chips of various kinds, power electronics and related areas, compound semiconductors, and also the equipment related for semiconductors. You're again a part of the country which has had some excellence in manufacturing machine tools and capital machinery. And I think that is another critical area where we need to move forward. And the key thing there, as far as capital equipment is concerned, is if you have to achieve scale, then you have to manufacture for an industry which is scaling up rapidly. And the industry which is scaling up rapidly is electronics, so which means that the possibility of manufacturing electronic equipment is huge, and that is something which you should seriously look at, equipment for the electronics industry. Incidentally, one of our programs which is doing very well currently, the Electronic Component Manufacturing Scheme, for which an additional allocation was also made in the last budget. The outlay was increased from 22,000 crores to 40,000 crores, and we have a number of applications. So the possibility of actually, and the window for manufacturing capital equipment for electronics is something which is still open, and it is open till July of 2027. I would really encourage, given that I don't think I can find a more appropriate audience to make this appeal to, that this represents in some senses the cream of industry from Coimbatore. I can't make a more appropriate, I can't make an appeal to a more appropriate audience that, this is an area that you should seriously look at, consider, and if there are ways in which in the ministry we can help you, or ways in which we can even connect you with the state government to see that they also explore this seriously, I think it's immense possibility. Incidentally, I should mention that the largest outlay, or the largest number of both units and the overall investment proposals that we received under the Electronic Component Manufacturing Scheme thus far has been from Tamil Nadu. 41 proposals with close to about 60,000 crores of investment. So clearly this is something that we can do, and clearly this is something that all of you can also seriously contribute to. So my request, earnest appeal to you is, this is an area that you should seriously look at. Clearly, the awardees today, all 3 of them representing these 3 critical industries are people who can significantly push this forward, and these are well-known brands. And somebody was once telling me, completely unrelated to this, didn't even know it. I didn't know this. A friend of mine was telling me, oh, I'm in Coimbatore, I'm trying to buy a sari. So I said, oh, where are you doing that? So he said, there's only one place you can go to in Coimbatore to buy a sari, Mahavir. So I heard the name before. So clearly, a recognition long overdue. And likewise, in the area of manufacture, and especially of the kind of manufacture that Coimbatore is well known for, fitting recognition for Rangamal steels and malleables. I think it's a great profession. It's a great area of manufacture. Clearly, this is something which should go further and look at, diversification in the kind of line that we sort of just spoke of. And last thing, of course, is in the service category, legal services. Nothing can be more important than legal services in every context, and I mean it seriously. If there is one lasting regret I have, it is the fact that I didn't finish my legal studies. I joined the civil service before that. And I still remember, it was later to me by boss, but at that point he just knew me. When I joined the academy in Missouri in 1989, Mr. Sundaram was then the Union Minister of State for Personnel. So he was in charge of the academy and everything else. So he had come for the inauguration of the course, and then we had a tea in the mess, and then he saw me and he looked at me. He said, "You are the fellow, you didn't finish your law. Why didn't you finish your law?" I mean, that is a regret I've had for a long, long time. And, apart from the fact that I've had opportunities to work with many lawyers, I had many lawyers in my family who had done fairly well, still do, but and many of my classmates whom I envy because they're now judges in in various high courts across the country. But I think the fact that it is a noble profession, and it's a very critical and key profession in today's world, to reduce complexity of doing business, to give correct advice in a timely way, to make sure that we can proceed with whatever we intend to proceed in as rapid and as seamless a way as possible. When we talk about ease of doing business, a lot of it is about regulation, a lot of it is about law, and a lot of it is because we either don't understand the law, we choose not to understand the law, or we are not adequately informed about it. So legal profession, rather than find solutions for it once we've gotten into trouble, when they advise us ahead of time, then they keep us out of trouble too. So I think it's a noble and important profession which can truly help us to carry forward this mission, because by the time we talk about being a developed nation by 2047, and clearly, personally, people keep talking about we're becoming the second or third largest, fourth largest, fifth largest economy in the world. One day we have to be the largest economy. We are the most populous country. So I think that goes without saying. But I think the more important thing is, are we truly a developed country? And have we ensured that prosperity has reached more people in this country than we started out with? And that means that we need to grow considerably more. Our per capita income needs to grow, and the distribution of our income needs to be such that everyone benefits and prospers. And for that, clearly, the way industry grows, the way that the benefits of this development reach everybody is very important. And today, growth, especially through increase in productivity, comes only through applying technology. And I think that is what we need to gear to and rededicate ourselves. All the stalwarts whom we admire, everyone that we see, when you read Mr. Sundaram's biography, he went and learned textile engineering in the UK, came back, applied those lessons to what needed to happen here and push forward. Application of technology, that is something that they have done, and that is something that they move forward. So clearly, I think to this age of technology, we need to learn and apply whatever is available today, the way that we need to push forward. And what it gives us an opportunity is an opportunity to move forward, an opportunity to grow faster. We've proved it in the case of mobile telephony, how quickly and how rapidly things have moved forward. Sometimes it's a bit of a regret, sometimes it invades into all personal, private time and space, which is a problem. It also leads to a lot of distractions, but it also has a huge accelerator effect on economy in terms of saving people a lot of time and effort. And if we could, as a country, make sure that today we have more than 1 billion phone users in the country and more than 1 billion internet users in the country. It's a way in which technology has really pushed us forward, propelled us forward. And I think there's no reason why we can't do the same with artificial intelligence and whatever are the newer challenges of technology coming up. Let me use this opportunity to make another point. I know that many of you are educationists and involved closely in education and in a very philanthropic way. My appeal to you and my thought to you is that we have to make sure that in every educational institution, whether it's schools or whether it is colleges, universities, we teach artificial intelligence to everybody. Everyone learns this. And even those who are in jobs learn this. Not to build models, not to be at the cutting edge, but to understand what implication it will have to their own jobs and their own space, their own particular business or spaces. So everyone needs to know. Even if you're studying art history, even if you're studying architecture, even any branch of study, law, the legal profession, every one of them needs to know how it can make a difference to their own profession. Of course, there will be some in the computer science world who will become model makers, who will become model builders. Not all of them need to, but they need to understand what this is. And secondly, and more importantly, I think it's also very important to make sure that their domain knowledge is even better. Because, we are all people who grew up in an era where we could manage and do our work without support of AI agents or tools. So instinctively, if you see an outcome, you'll be able to look at it and say whether this is right or wrong, or is there something which is problematic in this. And that's because you acquired domain knowledge over this period. If everyone relies on AI agents and assumes that this is where this is going to lead to, and you can't tell right from wrong, we're going to have a very, very serious problem in the years to come, which is why whoever goes through education today needs to be very, very solid with their domain knowledge, their respective domains. So I think this is another appeal I have to you in your capacity as people who can influence education and educational policy. So truly, I think, this morning, when I went for a walk around the race course, I used to have a little flat on Race Course Road many years ago. They've torn that down. They've torn down many parts of Race Course Road. It's very different. It's much nicer to walk, definitely. The only building which I could still recognize was the collector's bungalow, which is still intact. and a couple of other those bungalows. Even the old government housing has all come down and has become something else. That is transformation for you. That's the way a city changes, a city grows. Last night when I drove down the new flyover which brought on Avanasi Road, which brought me into the city. And I remember the arguments I had with the then minister saying, I don't think it's a bright idea to build this, you should instead be building a metro. But anyway, and those were arguments we had, but that's the way infrastructure has grown and that's the way the city has transformed before our eyes. And the perennial argument about water problem in Silvani, and there was Silvani 1 and Silvani 2 and Pillow 1 and Pillow 2 and various other schemes for water in the city. Sometimes the more things change, the more they stay the same. So that's the thought I'm left with today. But the important thing is that truly, in some senses, I feel that I came full circle with today's events in terms of having started here almost 36 years ago and coming back here to actually see what advancement is, what development is. I used to remember Mr. S.V. Balasubramanian used to be a regular to meet Mr. Raman those days. And many thoughts, many ideas which would come up in the course of his discussions. So all of this, in some ways, is truly humbling that development happens, we can move forward rapidly, life changes and life changes meaningfully within a generation. And that's something that you have demonstrated here, and this is something that you can actually take forward and demonstrate to the rest of the world. It is just that people need to know of what you have been able to do, and people need to know of what you have done, And one of the most fitting ways of doing it is to recognize the leaders of this. And let me once again congratulate the award winners who have truly sort of contributed to this. And I go away from this evening with excellent memories of the city and excellent memories of what is truly possible and what you can deliver. And to conclude, and what is most appreciable is the public involvement. The last appeal that Mr. Nagasubramanian made was on public causes, saying what is it that we can do to contribute to what the city can truly have. This is a spirit that I have seen repeatedly. This is a spirit that existed from a long time ago. And I think that is the spirit which keeps this whole ecosystem running. And please use the same spirit to get into newer and breakthrough areas of industry and propel the country forward as you propel Coimbatore and this area forward. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. பாரத பூமி பழம்பெரும் பூமி, நாம் அனைவரும் அதன் புதல்வர்கள். பகவத்கீதையில் கிருஷ்ணன் சொன்ன மாதிரி எப்பொழுதெல்லாம் தேவைப்படுவோ நான் அப்பொழுதெல்லாம் அவதரிப்பேன். கோவைக்கு இப்பொழுது எலக்ட்ரானிக் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ரெவல்யூஷன் வர்றதுக்கு கிருஷ்ணர் அவதரித்திருக்கிறார் தான் நான் நினைக்கிறேன். Thousands of Arjunas are here, sir. As a Krishnan, please handhold of every one of our industries and service. Please help us to revolutionize the electronic industries in this region. You are the Krishna, we are the Arjunas. We can team together. I think that we can develop the nation as Mahabharata. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your guidance. We expect you, we are behind you. Please lead us to a growth of developed nation. I will request Shri and Pradeep, Honorary Secretary, to give order.
A very good evening to all of you. Respected Chief Guest, Shri S. Krishnan, IAS Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. My colleagues, respected past presidents of Chamber, awardees and their family members, Shri B. Balchan, Honorable Mahavir, Shri K. Ilango, Partner, S. Rangama, Streets and Malleables, Shri N. V. Nahasubramanian, Senior Advocate, members of Chamber, members of press, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion of the conferment of G.K. Sundaram Awards and the inauguration of our renewed Chamber building. At the offset, on behalf of Indian Chamber and Industry Coimbatore, I extend our sincere, heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed Chief Guest, Shri S. Krishnan, for gracing the occasion with his august presence. He was mentioning about the adaptation of AI technology and use of data. And when he was telling a lot of companies are going to Gujarat, I thought something would come to Tamil Nadu. And sir is here, hopefully something comes to Tamil Nadu and especially for Coimbatore. And as Annamalai sir said, with this guidance, a lot of Arjunas are here. We are ready to take the bath and we will win it for you, sir. And capital equipment manufacturing, you were specifying, sir. Chamber would be loving to know more about it. We'll get associated on those topics and we'll work closely with you, sir. Despite his demanding official commitment in New Delhi, sir was kind enough to travel all the way to Coimbatore to be with us this evening. His presence has gratefully inspired and honored all of us. We are deeply thankful for him for inaugurating our renewed Chamber building and for presenting the prestigious G.K. Sundaram Awards for this year for the distinguished awardees. I extend our warm congratulations and sincere appreciations to the recipients of G.K. Sundaram Awards, Shri Mahavir, represented by Shri B. Balchan and family, Rangama Steels and Malleables, represented by Shri Ilango and the RSM Group family, Shri N. V. Nagasubramanian, Senior Advocate. Their outstanding contributions in the field of trade, industry and service truly reflect the vision, values and excellence. With these outstanding awards, we thank them and their family members for gracing this presence today. Our sincere thanks to all the past presidents, governing council members, associations, chamber members for their continued encouragement and support and participating in all the activities of the chamber. And also place on records our gratitude to G.D. Naidu family
and Shri G.D. Gopal for their long-standing support and goodwill towards the Chamber over several decades. I acknowledge with thanks for the members of the press and media for their valuable coverage and support to the Chamber activities. I would like to appreciate the efforts of the staff members of the Chamber, event coordinators, volunteers, technicians, and everyone who was worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this function a grand success. Finally, I thank everyone for your gracious presence and participation and request all of you to join for the dinner, which is arranged in the first floor. Thank you once again for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep. Only wait for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलसि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे